Yesterday, the NFL world was shaken by a blockbuster move. The Dallas Cowboys pulled the trigger on one of the most shocking trades you'll see before a season kicks off. Micah Parsons, arguably the most dominant pass rusher in football, is headed to the Green Bay Packers. In return, the Cowboys received defensive tackle Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks. Now, at first glance, losing Parsons feels like a gut punch for Dallas fans. He's the heart of their defense, a game-wrecker who strikes fear into quarterbacks every single Sunday. But here's the truth, this deal might actually set the Cowboys up for long-term success. Yes, the Packers instantly become a scarier team with Parsons flying off the edge. But Dallas gains something they've desperately needed for years, strength in the middle of the defensive line with Kenny Clark, plus the flexibility of 2 first-round selections. That's a foundation you can build around. Let's be real, pass rushing was never the Cowboys' weakness. With or without Parsons, this unit has been elite at getting after the quarterback. Last season, Dallas ranked near the very top of the league in sack percentage. Losing a star like Parsons might drop them a few spots, but this defense still has the depth and talent to remain among the NFL's best. And that's where the story shifts, because adding Kenny Clark isn't just a replacement, it's a transformation. He brings interior dominance that can clog running lanes, collapse pockets, and open up even more opportunities for the edge rushers around him. Dallas didn't just lose a star, they gained a new way to win. When you break down the Cowboys' front 7, the depth is undeniable. You got veterans like Dante Fowler Jr., who proved last season he can still get after the quarterback. Sam Williams, a former second-round pick, is finally getting healthy and ready to take the next step. Even young players like Junior Fehoko and promising preseason standouts have shown flashes of real upside. And then there's the interior. Osa Odigizua just signed an extension, showing the team's commitment to his growth as a disruptive force. Add in first-round pick Mozzie Smith, plus the arrival of Kenny Clark, a proven Pro Bowl-level run-stuffer, and suddenly this defensive line looks stacked, even without Micah Parsons. Clark changes the entire identity of the front. He doesn't just eat blocks, he collapses the pocket and makes life easier for everyone around him. But here's the reality check. Dallas didn't struggle to pressure quarterbacks last season. They were near the top of the NFL in sacks and sack percentage. No, the real problem was stopping the run. Despite all that pass rushing firepower, the Cowboys finished near the very bottom of the league defensively. Look at the numbers: 28th in yards allowed per carry, 21st in rushing attempts allowed per game, 29th in rushing yards surrendered, dead last, 32nd when it came to rushing touchdowns given up. That's not just a weakness, that's a fatal flaw. And that's why this trade makes sense. Parsons was a superstar, but Clark addresses the exact issue that crippled Dallas last year. If the Cowboys want to turn sacks into wins, they had to fix the middle of that defense. That kind of run defense failure is brutal. It makes your defense predictable, it lets opposing offenses stay balanced, and it turns every game into a nightmare. If you can't stop the run, nothing else matters. But if you can shut down rushing lanes and still bring heat on the quarterback, that's when you build a defense that wins championships. And that's where Kenny Clark comes in. A lot of fans hear his name and assume Dallas traded for a pure run stopper who won't bring much pressure. But that's not the whole story. Clark may not be an edge rusher like Micah Parsons, but from the interior, he brings something just as valuable: disruption. Clark isn't just a space eater. He's quick off the snap, powerful with his hands, and capable of breaking through blocks before plays even develop. We've seen him embarrass centers in one-on-one matchups, slipping past with a smooth swim move and collapsing the pocket on quarterbacks like Derek Carr. He's not going to put up 12 or 14 sacks a season, but that's not the expectation for a defensive tackle. What Clark does is control the trenches. He'll command double teams, clog running lanes, and still generate pressure up the middle. That kind of presence changes the entire math for opposing offenses. Suddenly, Dallas isn't just fast and flashy off the edge, they're stout, disciplined, and punishing right in the heart of the defense. On tape, Kenny Clark's strength in the run game jumps out immediately. He's not just holding ground, he's dictating the battle. Watch how he locks his arms, keeps his leverage, and controls the blocker in front of him. By staying patient and balanced, he can react to whichever direction the running back chooses. Then, at the perfect moment, he disengages and makes the tackle himself. No extra yards, no touchdown, just dominance in the trenches. That's exactly what this Cowboys defense has been missing. Last season, teams gashed them on the ground. Every opponent knew the formula: run, 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 then hit them with play action. Dallas couldn't stop it, and that weakness flipped games in an instant. With Clark in the middle, that script can finally change. Here's another example of what makes him special. Facing a double team, Clark doesn't panic. He absorbs the contact, forces the lineman to overcommit, then shifts outside with explosive power. He beats two blockers at once and closes off the lane before it ever develops. That's the kind of play that kills a drive before it starts. These are the moments that should fire up Cowboys fans. Clark brings the kind of toughness and versatility that can erase the defense's biggest flaw. With him anchoring the line, Dallas doesn't just have a pass rush anymore, they have a wall against the run. Clark isn't just a run stuffer, he's a complete disruptor. His eyes are always locked on the ball, and he has the quickness to shed blocks and chase down the running back before the play develops. That's what makes him a difference maker. And yes, Dallas still has young talent developing, guys like Sam Williams, Dante Fowler Jr., and others who can thrive in one-on-one matchups off the edge. Pairing those athletes with Clark inside creates a dangerous mix. When opposing offenses slide protection to handle the Cowboys' speed rushers, Clark is the one left with a one-on-one battle, and that's exactly where he thrives. Now, let's be real. Losing Micah Parsons is a major hit. You don't just replace that kind of production, but Dallas didn't walk away empty-handed. Clark brings power, toughness, and balance to a defense that desperately needed help against the run. He can still collapse pockets, still finish plays, and still deliver big moments when the game is on the line. The sack numbers might dip slightly without Parsons, but the overall defense? It could be more complete, more reliable, more versatile, and better built to win when it matters. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Kenny Clark isn't Micah Parsons, that much is obvious. He's not going to dominate the edge or put up double-digit sacks year after year. But make no mistake, Clark is still a difference maker. Over the past 2 seasons, he's shown steady production as a pass rusher from the interior while steadily improving against the run. He's not perfect, but compared to what Dallas had coming into this year, he's a clear upgrade. And when you add him alongside Osa Odigizua, Mozzie Smith, Solomon Thomas, and a rotation of edge rushers like Dante Fowler Jr. and Sam Williams, this front becomes much more complete. Does Dallas still need another true run-stopping specialist for those third and short situations? Probably, but Clark gives this defense a toughness it was missing. He'll help close the massive gap that made the Cowboys' run defense one of the worst in football last year. And then there's the long-term view, 2 first-round picks. That's future firepower to reload this roster. Losing Parsons hurts, no question. But Dallas didn't just give up a superstar, they gained flexibility, depth, and a new defensive identity. The Cowboys may see sack numbers dip slightly without Parsons, but the trade-off is balance. A stronger run defense, more versatility, and the resources to build for tomorrow. At the end of the day, this move isn't just about one season. It's about shaping a roster that can actually hold up when it matters most. And for a team that's been chasing postseason success for decades, that might just be worth it.